Hello everybody. So today in this video we have the comparison video I've teased on Instagram between the Andrew Dimco AD20.5, a really cool knife with a unique lock. Well, that's to be determined, isn't it? Unique lock called the shark lock, which allows it to be incredibly fidgetable. It middle flicks well, it thumb flicks well, you can slow roll it, you can lock roll it, you can lighter flip it. It's just an awesome knife, and in no way is this video meant to be a criticism of it. It's a really cool knife. So we're going to compare this knife with this knife. Now this is the Boker Merlin. There we go. And this is actually made in Germany. It's numbered, comes in number sets. They don't make any more than 333 or 331 of them of any one group of the settings, so they have different scales and different blades and things like that. This one's in 690, and it's a really cool knife. And the reason we are comparing the two of these is because of this lock. Now if you take a look, you can see that we have some interesting similarities here. We have a lock on top that goes backwards and backwards. The lock releases the blade, allowing it to be flipped open and closed, just like that. Now you notice with this one there was a little bit of difficulty opening and closing it that way, and you'll also notice that it has a nail nick. So here's where I start my discussion of these two things. I can tell you that the locks are not the same. The internal mechanism of how they move, I don't know if I can get a good view of this. There we go. You can see that one. The way the end plate engages the blade are slightly different. You can hear that. However, they both do have a spring internally in the middle here, and the bar does block the blade. This one has a bit of a lip on it, and you can hear that as it engages and stops it from fully closing if I'm not holding it right. And that's partially because this one also goes up and down slightly. This one does as well, to allow it to engage more freely, and that's why it has such a wonderful sound when it closes, which is really cool. So why do I say these are different, and how can I insist that this is not the same lock, even though it is functionally very similar? Because this is made in Germany. This is a Boker Tree brand made in Germany. There we go. Now Germany has an interesting knife law, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm sure people in the comments will correct me if I'm wrong on this one. If I am, I'm sorry. But I believe they're not allowed to have a one-hand opening knife that also locks, which is why this has a nail nick and why it's meant to be manipulated like so and closed like so. So this knife was not intended to be a fidget-friendly flipper, even though you can do it. I've loosened the pivot slightly, no play or anything, and the you can see the machining, the fit and finish, and the tolerances here are just, I mean, right up to Boker's standards. That's just amazing how tight that is. And there's no gaps. You can barely see anything there, and yet there's no rub at all. That's just awesome. Sorry for the fingerprints. I have messy fingers. Okay. So, as I was saying, that's one of the main differences between the two knives and their locking mechanism, is that this one is designed purely to be a two-handed opening knife by law in Germany. Therefore, I can say that they're completely different. Now, I have to question if maybe Andrew got some inspiration from it, or if something like that happened. I have no idea, and I'm not trying to poke anyone or cause any controversy. But I can tell you that the two knives don't fidget the same. The Dimco is incredible. This one was not meant for that purpose. This was meant more of a gentleman's carry, two-handed opener, and like I said, that is a Class C, carry knife. It even comes with rule number 9. It even comes with a a sleeve slip instead of a clip. There's no way of retaining that in your pocket if you don't use the slip or a leather piece or something like that. That's about it. So in conclusion, as I was saying, I think the locks are very similar. I could easily see that there might have been some inspiration between one and the other because of the similarities, but the execution and the reason for the lock are completely different. And given the legalities of one-hand opening locks in Europe, and particularly Germany, I believe, again, that's why they have all their autos made in the United States by Hogue and by other companies. I believe that they're not allowed to have one-hand opening knives with locks. So that would clearly indicate that this was not intended to be used the way this one is used, making it a different lock by intent. So that's what I look at, but I thought y'all might like to see the two locks and their extreme similarities and function, even though their intent and design was different. I hope you all have enjoyed the video. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. As I said, I can't gush enough on the AD20.5. I also can't gush enough on the Boker Merlin. This sucker is a wonderful knife. I enjoy carrying it. You'll see it in Instagram often. I love them both, and I mean to not cause any trouble. I just found their locking mechanisms interesting because one of the ways I collect knives is by locking mechanism, opening mechanism, steel, scales. We all have our method of collecting. Maybe I'll do a video on all the different ways I organize or collect my knives or whatever. That would be interesting. Perhaps if someone's interested, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, like I said, you all have a wonderful day. This has been Pat. Bye.